And anyway, we are ready to go for our show. And, well, of course, that doesn't surprise me one bit that Triple H would start off with a cheap shot like that. But anyway, we are in Japan. We are in, I believe we are in Tokyo. I mean, we are in probably the lesser-known halls of Tokyo for a New Japan show. So New Japan was kind enough to lend us their ring, and that's where we are. We are in a New Japan ring. And, of course, this is nothing new for Daniel Bryan, the man in red, as he just clotheslines Triple H. And okay, what's with the floor, man? Kind of looks a little spazzed out. But then a DDT onto the floor goes Triple H. But in the meantime, welcome everybody to our show. I mean, I'm just looking at the floor, so I'm a little distracted right now, if you couldn't tell. But nonetheless, though, we are in a small hall. But, of course, I mean, we have a lot of fans packed in the joint to watch one of our major shows as we are here in Tokyo, Japan. As Triple H and Daniel Bryan continuing where they left off from last time. Daniel Bryan called out Triple H, and needless to say, they have what? They have been counted out at the same time. Triple H got in the ring, but it was too late apparently. As wow, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. We end off on a draw. And if I look at my notes, the feud between him and Daniel Bryan, Triple H led the feud 1-0 against Bryan, but this will definitely go as a draw, and it will not be a win or a loss for either one. But I have a feeling this whole thing will continue to get worse before it gets better, I'll tell you that much. But with that said, let's just continue our show. We'll be back for the next match. Well, anyway, we are back into our Tokyo Hall. And again, we are in New Japan Wrestling. And of course, New Japan, like I said, they were kind enough to lend us their set and the hall. And what the hell? Okay. That's the second time that Chuck Norris has disembodied one of his limbs only to put it back in place. That is so weird, to say the least. I'm sorry. That really is weird. I'm telling you one thing. But anyway, we have Chuck Norris, and he's going to be coming out with Final Fantasy VII's, one of Final Fantasy VII's most, I guess you could say one of the hottest girls in Tifa Lockhart. And of course you would think she'd be accompanying Cloud Strife, but well, for this match, Norris wasn't going to take any chances with his opponent because, as you're about to see, his opponent wasn't going to come alone. But there you see Chuck Norris, and Chuck Norris has definitely transcended time. I mean, he's been around since the 1970s, and the lights go out. And who could this be? Well, as you see, it's The Miz. And as you see as well, he didn't just come alone. He brought his wife, Maurice. His manager, his wife, the whole 9 yards, really. I mean, I'm not married personally, but, you know, Maurice is a looker, and I'll tell you one thing, Miz chose wisely. But, I mean, at least they loved each other for each other, so at least I'm happy for them in that respect. But, with that said, I may as well get to how this match came about. This came about when, I forgot his name, but somebody in the comments for when I posted our last show wanted to see Chuck Norris take on The Miz in this match. So, and of course, knowing that Miz was not going to come alone, in that he was going to bring in his wife Maurice, that is why Chuck Norris brought in Tifa Lockhart, at least to rent for one night only. But of course, that's practically what she's there for, to keep Maurice out of the match. Alright, match underway as we have Chuck Norris going up against The Miz. Now, the last match we had was Triple H and Daniel Bryan, but that ended in a countout, and I have a feeling that the next match they'll have will have a much more decisive winner. But be that as it may, Miz doing the smart thing and not going to try to strike, but rather do some more amateur wrestling. But yep, and a punch right to the face of The Miz, and that's exactly what Miz does not want to get into. He does not want to get into a strike match, because if he does, Chuck Norris is just going to keep doing moves like that. And now Chuck Norris, ooh, nice slingshot body splash. That's what it's called. Okay, a slingshot splash. But of course, Miz wants to do more, you know, amateur style wrestling, Greco-Roman, you know, just Olympic style wrestling, because he does not want to get into a fisticuffs with Chuck Norris. Excuse me. Oh, well, now he has Chuck Norris right where he wants him, on the ground, helpless, and that's where he wants to keep him. Once he gets him down, he has to keep him down. That's the number one thing. Now, whipped into the ropes, and again, yanking the rope across the throat, and as a way to clothesline the guy. I mean, of course, it may not look like it hurts, but believe me, it takes the wind right out of you. I've had that happen one time where I got clotheslined, and I couldn't even breathe. I remember I was having a hard time breathing for a long time, but that's exactly what it can do to you. And of course, you know, I also took it on faith in the sense that, you know, I think a good friend of mine, well, actually it was Rick XDN, who said that happened to him one time. Like, he was involved in the show, and that's what happened to him. A knee lift and a neck breaker. He calls that the Mizzard of Oz. The Mizzard of Oz, excuse me. And now Miz on the top rope. Oh, he hits the elbow right on the back of Chuck Norris. And now he picks up Norris. But of course, Norris, playing possum, takes him down with a clothesline. And Miz, what's he doing? Clotheslines him again. So that's what Miz has to do. He can't get into a fisticuffs match. At least not until Norris is on the ground. Nope, takedown by Norris. And of course Norris, he can try a few takedowns, but for the most part he has to try to strike. That's how he's going to win this match. See, like that. Oh, nice takedown with the wrestling. So yeah, it's wrestling versus striking. That's how this match is going to come down to. Oh, missed the drop kick. Oh, but he got him nice with the left hand. He's a lefty. Oh, and a knee right to the back of the head. And then an elbow right to the head of Norris. Then a kick right to the back of Norris. And a pinfall. One. No. Of course, Miz has to be aware of Tifa Lockhart, just to make sure that she doesn't get involved as much as Norris has to make sure that Maurice doesn't get involved either. Oh, and the Chuck Norris kick! Just like that, the Chuck Norris kick. 1, 2, no. Got a bit of a slow count from the referee, but be that as it may, Chuck Norris almost had it with that super kick that he calls simply the Chuck Norris kick, then a knee right to the head of The Miz. Then a clothesline, another one, and then a leg sweep, and just like that, Norris is back in control. But yeah, just a simple Chuck Norris kick could end it, and on a running kick right against the sternum, and now Maurice, what's Maurice doing? Meanwhile, Chuck Norris, the Chuck Norris kick again. And while the referee is too busy, the referee, he noticed, or rather, Chuck Norris did, rather, excuse me. The referee was distracted, and just like that, The Miz lands that dropkick, but he was distracted by the fact that the referee was distracted. But of course, Norris staying focused. But a back body drop onto Norris. Now going for a head crank. Of course, he's not going to win the match like that, but it'll definitely soften up Chuck Norris, like, from the head up. And wait, what's Miz doing? Oh no, wait. Miz was about to do the, I guess, the Miz kick. But of course, Chuck Norris wasn't going to let that happen. You know why? Because he's Chuck Norris, and look what Norris is about to do. Look at this. And he kicks him. He kicks his ass, literally, does Norris. And Norris has the last chancery, which is really what that move is called, and he makes the Miz tap out. So Maurice tried to help the Miz, but it was still not enough against Norris, and of course Tifa didn't really do much in the match other than cheer on. And there's that Chuck Norris kick. Now that would have put away most guys, but Miz was winning the fight up to that point. And surprisingly, he kicked out of that one. And he hits another one, but as he goes for the cover, Norris was like, wait a minute, where's the referee? But then there's that drop kick that the Miz does. But of course we didn't get to see the submission where he got the last chancery. But be that as it may, Chuck Norris has won. So congratulations to Chuck Norris for that victory. And also thank you for the suggestion. Again, I forgot your name, but I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed that. But we have more matches yet to come, so stay tuned. That's going to be coming up right after this. Well, coming up next is a three-way ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. And in the middle, you have the former television champion, Ash Ketchum. And since he is no longer allowed to go after that championship, he was allowed to pick a different championship to go after, and he chose the Cruiserweight Championship. Unfortunately, someone else was going after that title, and that was the man to Ash Ketchum's right, or your left of the screen, in Enzo Amore, the Jersey Shore loudmouth. And then on the other side of Ash Ketchum, you have the champion, Neville. That's... I forgot how you spell his name. Neville. Neville. He's the champion, and he's going to defend that in a ladder match, and that's about to start right now. Alright. So the rules are simple. The first man to get a ladder, climb up, and grab the championship will be the new, or rather will be the Cruiserweight champion. So the man in black is the champion. The man with all those tattoos is Enzo Amore. And of course the man in white and red is Ash Ketchum. And it looks like Enzo and Neville, as Neville just throws down Amore, and that's definitely not Amore. As Ketchum now goes up to the ladder and tries to stop Neville. And he throws Neville down. He now has a hold of the belt, and now Enzo is going to try to stop him. And Enzo knocks down Ash Ketchum. And as that happens, Neville, what the hell are you doing? Stop posing and start stopping Enzo. What the hell are you doing? Now, of course, like I said before, Enzo and Neville have had quite a rivalry in WWE, and it's for that Cruiserweight Championship. As Neville finally stops him. And Ash climbing up the ladder, and down goes Amore. But Neville stopped him and throws down Ash Ketchum. And Ash better get back up before it's too late. And Enzo, is he going to stop it? No, he does not. Unfortunately, Neville took advantage of Enzo being taken out, as well as Ash Ketchum, and manages to grab the belt and retain the Cruiserweight Championship. So Neville wins the match and is still the champion. So much for an opportunity for Ash, but somewhere down the line we'll see another title defense for Neville. But we still have more matches yet to come, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Alright, match underway, and we have yet another match within the feud that has become Big Show and Kane against the Mario Brothers. And of course, as we mentioned before, it all started since the last Super Show that we had was Survivor Series, and since then, Big Show and Kane have sworn revenge, but it really started before that, and that was when Kane and Big Show, who were the World Tag Team title holders at the time, attacked the Mario Brothers, and since then they've wanted revenge. So basically it all started from one attack, all because of one act of revenge, and that's how this whole thing started between Big Show and Kane and the Mario Brothers. And now Kane knocks down Luigi, as Big Show is already on the floor, as is Mario on the outside. But anyway, this match is simply falls count anywhere, no disqualifications, no countouts, and basically the method to win is to eliminate both of your opponents, both members of the opposite team. That's the way you're going to win, as Luigi gets taken out. A neckbreaker onto the Big Show. And it looks like Mario is going to get double teamed. A full Nelson slam on Mario from Kane. And Luigi better get in there. Oh, and a massive headbutt onto Luigi, as Kane got knocked out of the ring. And Big Show, what's Big Show doing? Well, whatever he was going to do, he didn't get it done. A backbreaker onto the Big Show. And now all four men are on the outside of the ring. But remember, it's falls count anywhere. And these guys can go anywhere they want to. They can fight on the ramp. They can go backstage. They can go into the crowd if they wanted. So these guys can do whatever they want to each other. So these guys are just going to continue to beat the hell out of each other. And now, Luigi, what's he doing? On a body splash onto Kane, onto the outside. 1, 2, no, kick out by Kane. And Big Show, realizing what was about to happen, then a back body drop onto Mario from the Big Show. And now Luigi was getting jiggy with it and just dropped Kane with a series of punches there. Oh, nice takedown onto Kane, and then a military press slam onto Mario, and now Big Show is just going to beat the hell out of Mario, just punching him in the face. And now it looks like the two monsters, Kane and Big Show, are going to try to finish off Mario and Luigi, but Luigi counters on Kane, and now Mario is back inside the ring. Now wait, what's Mario doing? And wow, and an elbow drop from off the top rope. And Mario, oh yeah, that's right. Kane he had Mario, or excuse me, his brother Luigi, my fault, in a claw hold, and Mario broke that up. I mean, otherwise that could have been it for Luigi, but now Mario's in the driver's seat. Wait a minute. Flatliner! Flatliner on the Kane, and this could do it. Oh, but broken up immediately by the Big Show. Had he not been there, that could have been it for Kane. And wait, what's wrong with Big Show? I mean, Big Show got knocked out. Well, Big Show has just been busted open. Oh, but Big Show just took out Luigi, and now wait a minute, pinfall on the Luigi. 1, 2, no, kick out by Luigi, and it seemed as if the referee couldn't get there in time, but now it looks like Kane has a table, then a clothesline onto Kane. I mean, it's absolute chaos, I'll tell you that much right now, but Big Show is the worst for wear. And another flatliner, this time to Big Show. And now a pinfall cover. 1, 2, 3, and Big Show has just been eliminated by Mario. And now Kane is going to have to do this match, is going to have to continue by himself. And anytime you are in the ring, or in a match rather, against the Mario Brothers 2-1, it's a death wish really, because I don't know any one man that can defeat the Mario Brothers by himself, but Kane is going to give it the old college try, I'll tell you that much. Nice jawbreaker to Luigi, and wait a minute. Chokeslam onto Luigi, but Mario from behind takes him out with that inverted backbreaker. So he might have taken out what the hell? What the hell? What? How did Mario end up out in the crowd? Well, whatever happened, Kane just brought him in. Okay, that has got to be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Meanwhile, Luigi, having gotten up from that chokeslam, now goes for the cover on Kane. Is that enough to beat him? 1, 2, 3, and it's over. So the Mario Brothers dominate this matchup. And how apropos, I mean, we are in Japan, so, you know, technically that's where the Mario Brothers were born, as Luigi just hit that body splash from the top rope onto the outside. And had it not, or actually Kane kicked out of it himself, there was that claw hold that he had on Luigi, but Mario broke that up. And then there was that massive leg drop that could have ended it for Luigi. And Mario, of course, as you saw, was just battling the Big Show. And then those series of punches, and that last one really got Kane. And that was enough to get the 3 count. But that match was absolutely weird as hell, I'll tell you that much. But in the meantime, for the Mario Brothers, that now puts them ahead 2 matches to 1 against Big Show and Kane. And if they win the next one, it's over for Big Show and Kane. So congratulations, like I said, to the Mario Brothers, as they proved to be the dominant team and have been proven to be the dominant team for so many years. But we still have more matches yet to come, so stay tuned. Those will be coming up right after this. Anyway, it's been a wild night in Tokyo, and we still have matches yet to come. And now, as we welcome to New Japan, we have Batista. And I'll tell you one thing, Batista has just been on a tear, and it's great to see him back, especially since 2014 when we last saw him. He has been featured in Guardians of the Galaxy, and the spotlight is on him now. And as far as Batista is concerned, I mean, he's been probably one of the more dominant superstars in the 2000s, especially since he debuted in 2002, and especially towards the beginning of the 2010s. Like 2010 was the last year of his original run. Then he comes back in 2013, going into 14, and he doesn't win any championships, but he came back and won the 2013 or 14, I should say, Rumble. A lot of people were angry that Batista won that match when, it's like WWE just pushes the wrong guys, but there's no doubt that Batista is a legend, in the sense that, but Batista, he was a headliner, and of course he went to become a movie star, and of course Batista has done pretty well for himself as a movie star. I mean, he was in Spectre as Mr. Jinx or Hinks, I forget his character's name, but he was featured in Spectre, which was the last James Bond movie that we've had, as well as in Guardians of the Galaxy, both 1 and 2. But now, I give to you officially, now we had him on the show in the King of the Ring tournament, but unfortunately he drew himself, or actually it was because Bray Wyatt attacked him for no apparent reason. And since then, of course, Mr. Chamblee, Adrian Chamblee, Chamblee 87. That's where you're gonna find him on not YouTube, excuse me. Well, yeah, that is his YouTube name, but that's also his Twitter handle. So if you want to go say hello to him, then be my guest. But Adrian Chamblee, of course, he wants to get his hands on Bray Wyatt, but for now, he is just merely content with just going one-on-one with Dave Batista. And I'll tell you one thing: it may not look like it, but Adrian is pretty stacked. I mean, he's not necessarily a little guy, but of course, anybody that most guys that go up against Batista, they usually look small in comparison. I will say that much. On a nice counter by Batista, and wait a minute. Oh, nice sidewalk slam by Chamblee, Adrian Chamblee. Of course, he was dressed to play some golf. I mean, he played he played a round of 18, among other things. I mean, there were other activities that he was doing, like going to see the sights and sounds, and he passed by the old Tokyo Dome. And among other things, I mean, Batista, I believe Batista has been in Japan a few times, but most of the time he stays in the United States. And of course, most guys that want to be in Japan, they go to see the anime, they go see Nintendo, and in some cases even Sony in their headquarters there, and a couple of elbows right to the head of Batista. I mean, if you can target the head of Batista, you might have a chance. Of course, he does have a bit of a hard head, and an STO onto Adrian Chamblee. But of course, Batista has to be the favorite. I mean, of course, not only because of his size and strength, but also because of his experience in big-time matches. So, obviously, Chamblee he got himself a very bad draw in Batista, but of course, that's not going to stop him. And now let's see what Chamblee's going to do. Nice right hand. A back suplex onto Batista. Then a kick right to the back of Batista. And a Samoan drop onto Batista. Now Chamblee landing a couple of moves. Now another punch. Then one right back to Chamblee. And then whipped into the corner. And now what's Batista going to set him up for? Batista, wait a minute. A super back suplex onto Adrian Chamblee, and that might do it. I mean, that'll take a lot of starch out of somebody, and the spine buster onto Adrian Chamblee, and that could be the precursor to the end. I mean, this could do it here. A power slam onto Chamblee, and could this do it? One. No, gets only a 1 count on Chamblee. Adrian Chamblee, and now going for a shoulder claw. A punch right to the gut and one right to the face. But Batista fighting back though. And uh-oh, wait a minute. This could be the end here. If he hits this, the Batista bomb. Batista bomb onto Adrian Chamblee. That has to do it. 1, 2. No! I mean, that move has put away John Cena and many a men, especially Triple H, but I don't think anybody's ever countered or rather kicked out of the Batista bomb. Oh, nice counter by Chamblee. And a clothesline onto Batista, and Batista gets sent onto the outside. But Chamblee, I'll tell you one thing, Chamblee, he kicked out of the Batista bomb, and now is back in the driver's seat. But of course, the mistake that he would make would be, wait a minute, and a power bomb of his own onto Batista. Not quite the Batista bomb, but wait a minute. He could be setting up for this one. AC cutter. AC cutter. That's what he calls that move, that cutter move that he just did. He calls that the AC cutter. Is that it? 1, 2. No. Kick out by Batista. And of course, Batista, up until Chamblee kicked out of the Batista bomb, dominated the match. And and now Chamblee was just... I'm surprised Chamblee, did the spinneroonie. But just like that, now he's back in it. And now, wait, Chamblee now going for the sharpshooter onto Batista. If Batista had any weakness, it's submission moves, and he just proved it, did Chamblee, by putting him in the sharpshooter. I mean, of course, the sharpshooter is not exactly Chamblee's go-to move, but when you take on a big brute like Batista, if you put him in a position where he's on his stomach and you try to go after the lower extremities, if not his back, in a submission move, if you put it in there and synchronize it, that usually spells the end for Batista, because that's one thing he's never been good at, which was escaping submissions as well as using submissions, well, most of the time, most of them, but there you saw the AC cutter. Now that would probably put away most normal men, but Batista's not a normal man by any stretch. I mean, there you saw, Chamblee, Adrian going for that, for the cover, but it was just not quite enough. But there it is. There's the sharpshooter, and once he put that in there, it attacks mainly the lower back And I understand that Batista has had some back problems, and by targeting that was enough for Chamblee to get the win. So big win for Adrian Chamblee, but I have a feeling that that a feud with him and Bray Wyatt is looming. So he gets a win and proves that he can beat someone the caliber of a Batista. Of course, Batista, you know, this may not be Batista in his prime, because if it was, you know, it might have been a different outcome. But you know, Chamblee, he was young, and he was game, and that's what he had to be tonight. But congratulations, though, to Adrian Chamblee. But we still have our main event, and that match is coming up right after this. Anyway, we already have Wolfbane in the match, or in the ring rather, and now here's, yep, just as I expected, Jaret was not going to wait until the bell rang just to get it started, and of course, Jaret, you know, especially after, you know, what Wolfbane did to, you know, Jaret's friend, as well as the fact that Jaret's friend was also Wolfbane's ex-best friend, you know, turning, you know, for Wolfbane to turn his back on Jaret's best friend, who also was once his best friend, for him to do that, I can understand how Jaret could get upset and how he would want to tear apart Wolfbane. And now, going to the top rope is Jaret, and, well, Jaret, of course, wanted to make sure that Wolfbane stayed down, and now, nope, kick out by Wolfbane. Oh, and then a punch right to the side of the head, then a kick right to the back. Oh, and a body splash right on the back of Wolfbane. And I'll tell you one thing, Jaret is a really cool guy, you know, especially from all the times I've talked with him, but he seems intent with eliminating Wolfbane once and for all. And now he has him in an inverted figure 4. Oh, but Wolfbane fights out of it, and just like that, he powered out of it. And then a knee right to the head of Jaret. A snapmare. Now he's got him in that chin lock. Oh, and then a jawbreaker to Wolfbane. And of course, like I said, these guys have no love lost for each other. And wait, Jaret gets countered into a suplex, but Jaret was about to go for the curtain call. A little tribute to his favorite game, Persona 5. And then a knee right up against the head, and now just using it to crush Jaret's head. Oh, and then a knee right to the gut of Jaret. But then some back elbows on the Jaret. Oh, and then a super backbreaker onto Jaret. And I'll tell you what, I'll give Wolfbane a little bit of credit. I mean, Jaret came in and just went after Wolfbane, but Wolfbane turned it around. But now Jaret is back in control of this one. Nice counter by Wolfbane. And a T-bone suplex power slam. And Wolfbane going onto the outside. I guess he wants to catch his breath before he goes back in there. Now he picks up Jaret. And, whoa! A backside, I forgot what it's called. The backside slam. 1, 2. Nope, kick out by Jaret. But that was kind of a unique sidewalk slam. A back sidewalk slam. That's what he calls it. I'm sorry. But then a jawbreaker to Wolfbane. But Wolfbane counters. Oh, then a punch right to the gut of Wolfbane. But yeah, these two men are going to just go in there and kill each other, like I said. And Jaret, what's he doing here? Oh, slaps him across the head. And then he just punched him right in the face. And wait, what's wrong with Wolfbane? Well, Wolfbane has just been busted open. And all thanks to Jaret's right hand. And just like that, Wolfbane is in deep trouble. I'll tell you one thing, if Jaret hits this, it's over. Curtain call and a pinfall. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. So Jaret has won the match and is one step closer to finally settling it once and for all with Wolfbane. And I'll tell you one thing, Jaret didn't mess around. I mean, he came in like a house of fire and just went after Wolfbane. But now he leads the series 2-0. And if he wins the next one, then his feud with Wolfbane is over. I mean, I give Wolfbane credit for just coming back and trying to take out Jaret, but it just was not enough. I mean, like I said, big props to Wolfbane trying to fight back, but it just was not enough. It really wasn't. But there you saw the curtain call, and there you saw that Wolfbane was already busted open, and that combination was just enough to put away Wolfbane. So congratulations to Jaret, and Jaret gets a big victory. So big congratulations to Jaret, and I don't know what else to say except just congratulations to you, Jaret. I'm very happy that you won, and for Wolfbane, I mean, that'll definitely, I mean, that's a huge setback for him, but I'm pretty sure he'll recover. I'll have to answer that, but until then, we'll be back in just a moment. Or actually, no, that's the end of the show. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Until then, have a good day, everybody.